Hi there. So if you're watching this video, it's probably because you missed the lesson on Tuesday before our Thanksgiving break. So I'm just going to go over it real quick. When you're coming up with a narrative essay, the first step, of course, is to do some sort of pre-writing activity. So what I did is I brainstormed a couple of ideas I had about what I could write about. I could write about like some of my experiences at summer camp, or maybe my first year in teaching and some of the problems I had with like discipline, or with maybe writing lesson plans every night, or with remembering what I learned in college and applying that in the classroom, and how that taught me something that was important for the rest of my career. I could talk about the car crash me and my parents were in Oklahoma, when my dad wasn't paying like real careful attention to the road, or like he got distracted by my mom with this timer thing. So I could talk about how important it is to pay attention to the road. What I finally decided on was the last one I came up with when I drove from Fort Collins to my summer job at summer camp. So once I came up with that, I went ahead and did a mind map of that. And I'll just zoom out here so that you can see that, I think. So I've got drive to camp is my main point of the story. From that I have, since it's a narrative essay, I'm going to go in order. I've got drive to Fort Collins and some details with that. How I surprised my wife Jenny by showing up there. How I got... Oh, then I was over here. What we did while we were there. That I got up at 1 a.m. because it was just my night off. And then how I got pulled over because I forgot to dim my lights when I passed this police car, and he was not very happy about it. But then how I didn't get a ticket and everything turned out okay in the end. So from all that, I'm able to do a rough outline of my essay. So my thesis is either true love is worth anything, or don't drive when you're exhausted. I'll probably go with don't drive when you're exhausted. My exposition, that's the very start of the story, where I introduce characters, introduce the setting and all that sort of stuff. So I talk about how I asked my friend Paul to borrow his car, how I couldn't really drive stick very well at the time, and the long drive up there. Each set of my rising actions, so when I surprise Jenny, when I get up after only a few hours of rest, and then when I turn... Okay, and then for the climax, when I turn onto the poorly lit back road and get pulled over, it's obviously the climax of the story. And then the falling action and resolution that I didn't get a ticket and I made it back at camp just in time to start work, which isn't great because I was still very tired. But I have all that. So now down at the bottom, I'm going to take this stuff that I put in, just jotted it down, and put it in full sentence. So my exposition, instead of just saying I left for my night off, I'll write, I first got my crazy plan around 5:30 p.m. just over an hour before my night off, blah 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 blah. The first thing I did was ask my friend Paul if I could borrow his car. Okay, so I'm using a complete sentence to just state one of my details up here. I'm using it in a complete sentence. My next detail might be, once Paul let me use his car, I gave Jenny a call. Instead of just call Jenny, I'm going to instead go with, once I knew that I could use Paul's car, I gave Jenny a call. Okay, just moving these small details these small jotted down details, into a full sentence. Okay, so I'm going to do that for the front and for the back. The two things you don't need to worry about: transitions. Don't worry about those. We'll talk about those in class. And the hook. We'll also talk about that in class as well. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea of what you need to do in order to complete the sheet for tomorrow. If not, I'll work with you one-on-one tomorrow, but you will be behind. So try to get as much of it done tonight as possible. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.